program right now, which will be basically printing hello world in the terminal. So let's do that. So the way you do it, it's you write print parentheses in quotation marks hello world exclamation mark. That's pretty much it, and let's run it. Hello world. Congratulations, you have run your first Python program. Python, so variables are those data is the data which is not really constant. We don't really know its value, and let's say for example the age of a person. It there's no definite value of it, and it differs each to person to person. I might be 49 years old, you might be 12, someone else might be 30. We don't, it differs from person to person, so it's a variable. So how do you define a variable in Python? So first you give your variable a name. So since I'm storing the age of a person, I'll call it age equals to, and okay, so since age is a number, I'll give it an integer data type. So like you don't really have to exclusively define that it'll be an integer. It'll automatically be initialized to an integer when you just give it an integer value. So let's say I'm giving the age to be 50, and there are more types of data which you can store. For example, let's say someone's name, that will be a string. So let's say uh, John Smith, this is a string. Okay, let's say the price of a product. This can be float, which is basically decimal. Let's say the price is $13.5 and the price will be 13.5. So let's print this stuff, and let's see how we can print variables. So basically your name is, I'm keeping this in quotes because this is not going to be a variable, because this is the data you will be printing. And then the name, comma name, we don't know what the name is, this can be changed. So John Smith, your name is John Smith, print, let's say your age is, and then comma age, the age of the person, which in this case is 50, imaginary person. Price, let's print the price of whatever they are trying to buy. The price is, comma price. So if we run this program, it should print your name is, since we are printing the name variable, and the value of the name variable is John Smith. Your name is John Smith. Your age is age, the value of age is 50, so your age is 50. The price is price, and the price has been initialized to 13.5, so the price is 13.5. Let's run this. Your name is John Smith, your age is 50, the price is 13.5. Input in Python. So you can take input in Python using the input function. So let's say for example you're going to take input from a user, their name, their age, and then you're going to print hello. Let's say for example their name is John Smith. Hello John Smith, you are 18 years old. So let's do that. So first we're taking input, and then inside the parentheses you put in the prompt. The prompt is what will you tell the user to like input. So in this case we want to ask them to input their name. So please enter your name, and I've left this space on purpose so that there's a space between this and the cursor, like where they'll type. So now we have taken the input, but now we have to store this in a variable. let's call the variable name. So, and now we have to take their age equals to input. This time the prompt will be please enter your age. Now we have to print the things, these two things that we have taken. So hello, your name is, comma, the name, and then print again, you are, comma, the age, and then again space years old. Let's keep a space here so that there's a spacing and we are not making any grammatical mistakes. Okay, so now there's one more thing you need to note. The input function, by default it will store the input as a string. So in this case we are taking the age also, right? So the age is a number, which means that it is an integer value. We should not store it as a string. So like for example, we okay so to convert, for example, you want to calculate the um you want to calculate the age of a person by taking in their birthday. So let's remove this and turn this into, let's ask them to enter their birthday. Enter your birthday, and we'll rename the variable to bday in short, and we will calculate the age. So let's define another variable age. So at the time of now, the year is 2023. So how you calculate the a person's age according to their birthday? Let's ask them to enter the year of their birthday. So it is the current year minus the year they were born in. So 2023 minus b day will be the age. Now the problem will arise because you can't subtract string integer and string. It won't work. Uh, let me show it to you. Let's do you are space age, comma, space years old. This should give you an error. Yes. So wait. This is a different type of error. I didn't close the parentheses. That's my bad. That's a syntax error. Now if we run it again, let's enter our name, uh, John Smith. Let's enter our birth year. Let's say minus 1919. Yes. So whenever you get this, it is an error. Unsupported operand types minus for integer and string, which means you cannot subtract you cannot subtract a number and a letter, and like anything, an English sentence or a phrase. So this is because input stores it at a string. You can only subtract an integer from an integer, so you have to convert it. So the way you do that is int, and you surround this in parentheses. So this is how you do it. Now if we run it again, it should work fine. Let's say John Smith, and let's say our year is 1919 again, and now it works. Hello, your name is John Smith, you are 104 years old. Type conversion. So converting a type of data into another type is called time conversion. So for example, converting a string into an integer, let's say the string 34 being converted into 34 is the type conversion. So like for example, we saw input function only stores it is as a what do you say, yeah, string. So let's say please enter your age. The age will be stored as an string. So how do we convert it into an integer? Because age should be a number and it should be like a number, right? Let's say we want to calculate their age 5 years further. So let's say we will have to do age new age. Let's say new age is their age 5 years down the line. It will be age plus 5, right? And if we try to print this new age, let's say it should be printing a number, but it won't happen because let's say our age is 12. it Ideally it should be printing 17, but it gives an error because you can't really add string and integer. So let's fix it by type converting it. How you do that is converting the string converting this into an integer by surrounding this with int and parentheses. So now if we do run it again, enter your age 12, and for 5 years later I will be 17. So how do you, but this is not the only type conversion that can take place. You can convert it into float using this function, float brackets. You can convert it into boolean, which is true and false, using this bool. You can also convert you can also convert a integer into string using str string. So this is all the type so, and as you already know, int using int brackets. Yes, so these are all the type conversion that you can do within your Python program to convert different data into different other type of data. So string methods are methods which specifically work with strings, and they have different purposes, and they have different use cases. So let's dive in and let me tell you about string methods. So let's say there is a string called string. Let's name it, this is a variable string, and the string will be uh, let the string be let's make a leap with python. Oops, my bad. Let's make a leap with python. Now let's say, so I'll be printing every single thing, so that you know what effect these methods have. So let's say I want to convert this into all uppercase. So for that we will use the dot upper method, string dot upper. Now if we print this, it is in all capitals, meaning it is all in uppercase. But what if I want all of this to be in lowercase? Similarly, for that we have dot lower. Everything is now in lower. You can also find the index of a specific character in the string. Let's say I want to find the first index of the first occurrence of E. So the way you do that is like this: find and in parentheses E. So let me tell you how this works. So in a string, the indexing begins from left to right, and it begins like this: L0, 1, 2, 3, and so on so forth. And since the index of E is 1, because starts with 0, and E is 1 because 0 1, so it prints 1. But let's say I want to find but X is not there in the string. What will it print? It will print -1, because minus, for anything that is not there in the string, it prints -1. But let's say I want to find a specific word. Let's say I want to find the first occurrence of leap. So it will give you the index, which is 13. But let's say I want to replace a word. For that you can use replace. This will have two operand. Operand meaning the number of number of what parameters you pass in the function. So let's say leap should be replaced with a let's make a jump. Leap will be replaced with jump. Now it should print let's make a jump with Python. Let's make a jump with Python. As you all know, in math you have four arithmetic signs, which is addition, multiplication, division, and also subtraction. So how do you do all of this? So let's define one variable which is a of value 3 and b of value 1. Now let's say if we want to add these two things, so for that you'll simply do a plus b, and if you want to multiply them, let's subtract. If you want to subtract them, you'll do a minus b. If you want to multiply them, then you have to do a asterisk and b, and if you want to divide them, you will do a, you will be doing print a slash b. This will give you the quotient. Now let's say if you want to find out the remainder, you'll do a percentage b to find out the remainder. So let's run this. So a plus b will give you 4, a minus b will give you 2, a into b will give you 3, a divided by b will give you 3, and a and the percentage of the division will be 0. You get 3.0 here because this operator returns a floating point value, so it will be a decimal. I will tell you about comparison operators. We have already done arithmetic operators. Now there is another type of operators called relational or comparison operators. Now what do these operators do? As the name suggests, these operators compare two or more values. So for example, let me set an value of a to 5 and b to 2. Okay, now let me tell you that these comparison operators always return a boolean value, meaning that they will either return true or they will return false. So let me show you how that work. So let's print, let's compare a and b, and we are asking is a greater than b. So this is greater than operator, and now we are comparing is a lesser than b if not greater than b. Now this is lesser than operator. Now we are doing a equals to b. Is a equals to b. Now let's run this program and see what happens. As you can see, the boolean values have been returned. So since 5 is greater than b, it returns true. Since 5 is not lesser than 2, it returns false. And since 5 is also not equal to 2, it returns false.